Welcome back to Tabletop Titans and another Titan Tactics. The recent points changes for Arks of Omen have seen some massive shifts across many armies, but none more so than the Space Marines, who have seen a number of huge points drops pretty much across the board. Today we're going to be taking a look at these points drops and seeing just how far we can take it. If, of course, you enjoy this content, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button down below so you can support the channel and get notified of all of our future videos. So let's start off by taking a look at some of the units that save the most points, but that are also practical and we think we'll see on the table. First off, the biggest one is probably the Plasma Inceptors, dropping a massive 20 points per model. This is going to save you 120 points for a 6-man, and overall it's going to be dropping 33% per model. Absolutely massive, and these guys were quite popular at one point. They very well likely might be again. Bolter Aggressors also saw a massive points decrease, 33% as well. This is going to drop 90 points across a 6-man squad, so those are definitely back on the menu again. Devastators also saw a big points decrease. Their base model went up a bit, but all their weapons are going to be free except for the Multi-Melta. This is going to save you 55 points on a 5-man, and is a 32% decrease overall. Sternguard Veterans have almost never seen the table in 9th edition, and they are one of the biggest benefactors of the points. Dropping 90 points for a 10-man, this is a 31% decrease, and gets you another source of these amazing special weapons. Last, maybe least, the Heavy Intercessors see some justice finally. A 10-man is going to drop 70 points, especially if you take the 2 heavy bolters, and it's a 23% decrease overall. So I would love to see these beautiful models on the table finally. Now that we've looked at some of these units, where are the points changes really coming from? It's a couple of different sources. One, if you're a Primaris model, you're likely to be seeing a big drop to the base cost of the model, which is fantastic. On top of that, units that have expensive war gear and weapons, those are also getting cut down, many of them being made free. So if you can find the sweet spot between the two of those are where we're getting the biggest savings, of course. Devastator squads and Sternguard being an example of really the war gear upgrades, and then we're seeing intercessors across the board, Plasma Inceptors, things like that. We're seeing a bit of a base model reduction. So exciting stuff. Of course, technically, the most winningest of the units from the points changes is the Hammerfall Bunker that dropped over 40%. I hope maybe we'll see them on the table. Maybe. We gotta try it, right? So now I'd like to invite you in to take a look at the most ridiculous list I've ever seen. John's put together this wild list that maximizes points benefits. It's saving over 1,000 points. It consists of a single Primaris Captain, which did see reductions, about 23%. We're seeing 3 Hammerfall Bunkers, 3 units of 6 Plasma Inceptors, 3 units of Bolter Aggressors, and 3 Devastator squads with las cannons. This is a huge number of savings, and look, is it the best list ever? Probably not. Is it the worst list ever? Actually, probably not either. You've got mobility, you've got lots of shooting, that's for sure. You've even got a decent amount of melee with the Bolter Aggressors. Throw a little Rights of War on your Primaris Captain, you're good to go. But of course, this is at the most extreme, seeing just how far we can push this. Let's try this again in a different list that's trying to be a bit more cohesive and also consider in things like the changes to secondaries, tactics, and all that good stuff. So this is a list that John's actually playing on the channel. This is an Ultramarine list that focuses on savings, but also has a kind of cohesive plan to it. We are looking at Bolter Aggressors. Of course, with Ultramarines, we want to be in the tactical doctrine, so those major savings are also going to synergize very well with the army. Plasma Inceptors, while we're not necessarily sitting in that doctrine, are still great savings in our core. More on that later. And we're seeing a number of smaller point savings across the board. Things like the Infiltrators, the Intercessors, the Redemptors, all those free upgrades are now going to be just bundled in. And we've got Mr. Bobby G himself. He's going to give big rerolls to all of these units, which are essentially all core, and really help us get even more value out of our value picks. Let us know what you think about this list, and do you guys have big changes in mind for your own list? So overall, what do we think? Are these points changes going to make Space Marines more interesting? Well, I think I'll say this. No matter what happens, good or bad, we are making a new list, we're trying different ideas, and we don't know anything. That's exciting, that's a cool place to be in the game for players to start experimenting. The other thing is, let's be real, Space Marines lost Armor of Contempt. This was a big hit to their durability, and they did need something to help balance it out. So, lost Armor of Contempt, gained huge points drops. We'll find out in time if this is the right call, but ultimately I think it will be more enjoyable for not only the Space Marine players, but also for their opponents. It's much easier to kill Space Marines now. People are going to get their AP1, and they'll be fighting Space Marines in droves. Space Marines will be killing them in droves. It's going to be a very, very lethal time period for everyone, but it means there's going to be a lot less of just kind of throwing fire into Space Marines and not having it do anything. Overall, we're having a ton of fun just playing with these lists and trying different ideas out. Hopefully you are too. Let us know in the comments below what you are thinking for your Space Marines. What is the most savings you can fit into a list, and is it actually practical? Of course, we have lots of videos coming out on all of this and more, as well as battle reports relevant to this. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys next time on the tabletop. Bye!